Autopsy.
This is the thumbnail.
Yeah, that's right.
What is going on? All my beautiful movie loving badasses. It's your boy Preston, Fat Samurai Guy, back again with another, I guess the last of the year action film autopsy episode. Yes, until we start anew and kick it into high gear next year. But yeah, this is the last one of 2023, and he is back, Sifu Santa. That's right, Sifu. Yeah, we're gonna come up with another name soon.
I don't know who that Santa guy was. He's gone now. He's on vacation somewhere. So
Sifu Rick for now. There you go. It was showing off the shirt. There you go.
Yeah. Hey, I've got another one of my favorites of the month, and if you look at the wonderful Jen, she has another one of our favorites of the month.
Yeah,
a double favorite.
Oh, I love it. What are you wearing, Miko? What do you got there?
This is nothing.
Miko's boring.
Yeah, I'm boring.
Well, it's Oakley. He's got Oakley. He's hip and he's cool. He's the West Coast guy.
To be fair, this was his shirt that I.
Yeah, this was mine.
Oh, there we go.
Yeah.
There you go. I love it. Zilla and Studio Ghibli. I love it. Well, welcome back, Jen and Miko. We had a blast yesterday. If you guys have not seen it, make sure you check out the episode. Me, Rick, Jen, and Miko discussed a lot of good and bad yesterday. A lot of hilariosity too.
With Frank, but of course
with Frank.
I feel like we were all just trying to keep Rick off of Frank's case.
Yeah. I was because all night I was thinking, he's celebrating this movie as it's original science fiction, and it is so derivative. I'm going, how can you possibly? But anyway, that was yesterday.
Frank came to defend himself.
I was like, Frank's not here.
Yeah, I know.
You're Frank. I all see Frank. I see you, and I see Frank.
But yeah, if you guys have not seen that episode, everybody watching right now, make sure you guys check it out. It's a lot of fun. Happy holidays to Todd. Good to see everybody watching right now. Tyler, Certified Badass channel member. Let's start the fucking ruckus. Happy New Year, everyone. Yes. And Champ Blaze, everybody saying hello, Jen and Miko and everyone else. Yes, good to see everybody here. That's right. The action film autopsy alumni, Jen and Miko. And Jen, who do you work for? We'll do it like that instead of yesterday.
I'm over at Warner Brothers Animation. I work on a lot of the DC stuff, so
all right,
very exciting.
Miko,
I work in Skydance Animation, the Skydance Media, which create the Mission Impossible, which was producing Mission Impossible series.
There you go. Awesome. That's right.
And I do nothing.
We only have legends here on the channel. That's how we roll here. But yeah, we got a plethora. Rick has a plethora lined up. What's going on, Sexy Sumo?
Hey,
of
Sexy
titles.
Sumo.
Yeah. And let's go ahead and jump right into it here. Oh wait, first of all, Rick's got an awesome shop. You know what y'all need to do.
You want a piece of me?
You want a piece of me?
You want a piece of me?
Oh, you want a piece of me?
You want a piece of me?
You want a piece of me?
You got it! Get a piece of Rick.
Yeah, all my artwork, all my collectibles, all the stuff. It's over at Chimera Publishing, available to you, because I have to get rid of it before it's thrown into the garbage.
But yeah, a lot of cool collectibles, exclusive autographs, really cool stuff. So hit the link in the description box below the video and get a piece of Rick. All right, first up, Rick, take it away.
Oh, we are taking it away. Well,
yeah.
I don't even. Are we doing it in the order I get? We should do it.
You gave.
I have it as we have this month. We have feature-length films from the movie theater.
Okay.
I got 4 of those. We've got 4 from Hi-Ya. We got 3 from Netflix, 2 from Disney, 1 from Amazon. We're probably going to add one that you mentioned, Jen, which is the Batman one.
Mm-hmm.
You're going to throw that in, right?
Yeah.
What channel is that on?
It's on Amazon Prime.
Okay, so that'll be at Amazon. So why don't we start with that? Why don't we start with Amazon?
Sure.
And Coach, so do you want to run with the Holiday Batman?
Yeah, I'm like shamelessly plugging a movie that I worked on called Merry Little Batman.
How dare you?
I know. It's on Amazon. It's 2D animated. It's not your typical Batman. It is definitely more like family film. It's about young Damian Wayne. It's very Home Alone-esque.
What?
Really cute, and it's really fun. And Damien, he kicks ass, and he's like just this really amazingly talented little like 8-year-old who fucks up the Joker and all of the the rogues gallery, and it's a lot of fun. So like check it out.
What's the animation style?
It's 2D animated. It's gorgeous. Like the art style is really different. I feel like it's interesting because it's like very like Ronald Searle, if you know that illustrator.
Yeah, but it also sort of reminded me of Ren and Stimpy. It has that kind of movement.
Yeah.
Yeah, look at that. Ren and Stimpy combined with who's the guy who does all the dark stuff of all the children dying?
Like Richard Gorey?
Yeah, like Edward Gorey.
Oh, Edward, yeah.
Edward Gorey, yeah. So it's a combination of all those styles.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, the character design in this show is it's really good.
Really
I personally really love Joker's design in this one.
Yeah.
It's very unique.
Yeah, I like his voice too.
Yeah.
And you can see, do you know who did the voice?
Not off the top of my head, but it's
right.
I mean, it's not
we can
hard
look it up.
Like,
hey guys, this is the action film Autopsy. If you want Frank Jang like facts, you're going to have to go onto Wikipedia. We don't know any of that stuff.
Yeah.
Well, I'm sold. I'm sold. Once you said Damien meets Home Alone with Damien,
yeah,
right.
kind of sold already.
And you can see from the style, even from that image, the way the capes are shaped. And they have their own movement. Yeah, it's a delightful show. So yeah, that's one of our tops of the month. But again, this is not the best and worst. This is just everything action that came out in December that we get our hands on. Now, the Amazon one that I'm going to promote, and I put it on my list of best yesterday, which is the second season of Reacher.
He's back.
He is back. And
he's back too.
And he's better than ever. It really is better than ever. Everything they did right in the first season, they do right even better. They up the ante. The writing's better, the acting's better, the action is better. And I'm not complaining about the action because it's Reacher. Because Reacher fights the way Reacher fights. He's trained by the military, so he's not going to be doing, the kind of kung fu finessing that I usually like. He's going to do what you just saw the picture. He uses his fist a lot, but because you see him, he's exercising all the time. It makes perfect sense. This is how he was trained. Oh yeah, it's a very satisfying show. Yeah. Very satisfying.
Is there a lot of headbutts still?
Well, he's not that stupid, but there is the occasional headbutt.
Okay, all right.
When
consistency.
That's the other thing that I like about him. He metes out his punishment as it's deserved.
All right.
So if somebody's getting in his face, he's going to put his face into them.
Love it.
Boom. And that's another great thing. Another thing I love in the good kung fu movies, when somebody's using an open hand, they really emphasize how powerful the open hand is, and they emphasize how powerful his boom is.
Nice.
So yeah, it's very smartly done. It's very satisfying.
Season 3, or
I'm sure there will be. I'm not guaranteed.
Okay.
But when we get to this, which is What If, they put out today a trailer for the third season of What If.
Oh, all right.
Already, wow.
Thoughts on the trailer? Thoughts on the season 3 trailer, Rick?
Oh, the trailer. Well, the trailer is a sequence from an episode that combines the Winter Soldier with the Red Fox, the Russian superhero, and they're fighting against cops in like Texas.
Wow.
So I'm not sure where the plot is, but again, great dialogue, really great animation. Some of the best animation of human beings I've seen. It's clearly animation, but at the same time, it doesn't break my suspension of disbelief in terms of they're not cartoon characters, they're humans animated. Or animated humans. It's just really beautiful stuff. And tonight's final episode of the season of season 2, again, it was kind of like Jen, Miko, and I, the last movie we got to see together was very fitting. Well, not the last one, but the last one in the theaters we saw was Coco. And there was that moment in Coco where they had the 6 million colors. Well, that's kind of what happens in this episode of What If.
Yeah.
So it's not 6 million, but it's like it's an eyeful. It's really cool. But I'm jumping ahead to the well, no, actually, let's go to Disney Plus next.
Yeah, I was like, just do it.
What the hey?
Okay.
Again, What If started as originally they showed it, and again, you can see that they're being smarter. They showed What If, 8 episodes, one day after another, from December 20, or 9 episodes. It was 9 episodes. From December 20th to the 29th, one after the other. And they started as sort of like a pastiche. I mean, they had What If you put Happy Hogan into Die Hard. I think that was the second episode. So I said, okay, each one of these episodes is going to be their satire of another movie. But then they sort of went, after the second episode, they sort of went, no, let's go. Because I think what happened is the first 2 episodes was Chapek, and suddenly Iger came in and said, no, go. Do Marvel the way Marvel used to be. Make us care about the characters. Don't make it a pastiche of the characters. And they paid that off. They stopped doing other people's movies and they started doing What If variations of their own movies. And again, the Captain Carter one was astonishing in terms of the fight choreography, but then the god Hela, the goddess of death from Asgard, she was sent into the world of Shang-Chi and the Ten Rings, and and Kung Fu taught her, helped her reach enlightenment. And I'm saying, yeah, baby, this is real Kung Fu. And it's just a beautiful, beautiful episode. And also, all these episodes, as they went on, got increasingly hopeful. They stopped being downers. They stopped being, there's no hope. All we can do is fight. No, they kept fighting. They started, because I love the original Doctor Strange movie, because his repeated line throughout the original Doctor Strange movie was, when he was seeing all these people doing the violence and all these other guys doing mystical martial arts, he keeps going, there's got to be a better way. There's got to be a better way. And by the end of the movie, he finds it, which is Kung Fu. Dormammu, I have come to bargain. That's Kung Fu. So, and also being smart rather than tough or badass, being smart ass, being wise ass. So they start doing that again in What If. So of course, your Sifu Santa, your Sifu, am I Sifu Santa or Sifu Rick? I can't remember.
You're Sifu Rick now.
Okay. It makes me very happy. And the last episode was every imaginable kind of battle, but it involved Doctor Strange and Captain Carter. And I really want a Captain Carter movie now. I dare you guys to watch it without not wanting a Captain Carter movie. Especially since the guy who played Chris Evans.
Chris Evans.
He's not going to go back to it. Haley will come back and be Captain Carter.
Yeah.
And she's awesome on this show.
I mean, hearing you say that just makes me sad that Agent Carter got canceled, because I feel like that would have been like the progression.
Yeah, but they had Agent Carter, so now let's just go right into Captain Carter, because they also created this new Native American superhero. That was the episode beforehand, and also effing brilliant. It reminded me, it makes a great double feature with Prey, which was one of my favorite movies.
So
good. And they're showing us in this show how female superheroes are different and better than the male superheroes, because they don't have the testosterone. So they're looking for solutions. They're looking for the ways to do it smartly rather than, I'm going to prove how tough I am. They're not trying to, which is also what will separate Marvel from the other superhero guys now if they continue on this track, because even the women in the other, they always wanted to prove again that they could fight like men. And if you watch Captain Carter and you watch this new Native American superhero, they don't fight that way. They fight smart, just like the girl in Prey did. So I'm just like, I'm happy.
Rick, would you be okay with a What If in live action movies? Would you be okay with that?
I would think it would be a waste because the show is great. Okay. And they've come into their own in terms of their artistry as well, and how they're doing it technically. So I wouldn't, if they do it as well as they do the TV show, but I would rather they keep live action for live action things and keep what is Ave, because that helps with What If. Because I didn't like the What If comic that much, because I was going, oh, you're taking my heroes and you're doing variations on them. I'd rather stick with the heroes. So having an animated show, I'm able to tolerate, especially since they're using it to create really interesting ideas that they can incorporate. And I don't think I said this now. I think I said this beforehand. Just a little spoiler alert. One of the very last images of the last episode of this season of What If incorporates the Tree of Time, where Loki is now. And I went, yes, indeed, they're bringing it all together now. They're going to take off from here, and I'm going, good. All right. Enough of Disney. Let's move on to Netflix. Do you guys have anything to talk about at Netflix, Miko and Jen? Oh, yes, you do. Yes, you do. Should we say that?
Like the Yu Yu Hakusho
Yeah.
did.
Should we start with that, or should we end?
I'm curious. I feel I'm getting a vibe. It's going to be two totally
because
different.
I wasn't going to see it until Fat told me that I should go see it.
Right.
Yeah.
But
Okay,
now-
so are we doing it? Are we doing
Go.
it?
Okay, I will
Do
start
it.
with this. Before Jen
Go.
starts,
Go.
I will start with this.
Yes.
And then Jen will help me out. I can't wait to hear what she has to say.
Me too.
I
Yes, you can,
started.
Nick. You're waiting right now.
I have
Okay.
all of, I have the whole anime. I started it. I was enjoying it, but I got sidetracked and I need to go back and finish it. I haven't
good.
finished it. I got to when they got to the tournament part, and for some reason I checked out and I was life and stuck with other things, but I've been meaning to go back. So seeing this live action trailer that came out a while back, I'm like, I need to go back and finish the anime. So now, Jen, what did you think?
Wait, did you at least finish the tournament?
No, I got to start. I'm going to start over. I'm going to start over.
That's great.
Okay, watching this made me want to go back and rewatch the anime because I was like, this just makes me miss the anime. So I will say, for the sake of this being like an action movie, the fights were great.
The fights were great.
Honestly, yes. Like the fight choreography, sometimes they went a little
too long.
They went a little too long, and there were parts where it was like the fighting. There were so many opportunities where the fighting could have furthered the story, furthered the character's learning, because it's so compressed. So like the character has to learn all of these things on the fly. But for me, as someone who loves the show, the original, the anime, and the book, there was so much of this that was just unearned because it was so much in such a small amount of time.
Yeah.
Like, in the show, what takes him multiple episodes, grueling, crippling pain, literally gets handed to him. Here's all of Genkai, his mentor. Here's all of my power. And he's got it. And it's like, it was frustrating because I was watching it with him and he's also seen it.
Yeah.
And we were like, who is this for? Because it's very dissatisfying for a fan, but it was also just so sparse for a new person coming into it that I just was like, a new person would just be like, why does any of this matter? Why do I care about any of these characters?
Yeah.
Like the first time they're all interacting is at the Dark Tournament. In the show, there's already one major arc where they've already like had we're forced to work together. We don't know each other. We don't like each other. We have to trust each other to get through this.
Yeah.
And then they go to the Dark Tournament as a unit, as like with goals together. And this
one doesn't even have like spoilers. This one doesn't even have the Dark Tournament.
Yeah.
It has the two characters that they have to fight, the big muscle guy.
Yeah.
But a lot of it, so a lot of it, like what Jen said, is very unearned. The action, I really do like the action a lot. I feel like their stunting is incredible.
Yeah.
But is the dragged
Just a
out.
little
It's
too
like
long.
I feel like there are certain like arcs in the fight, even like within the fight, where you're like, okay, this is good. Oh no, it's still going.
Yeah.
And then it's like, okay, now it's good.
Yeah,
Oh no,
it's
it's
like,
still going.
There were
There's, like,
entire
multiple-
sequences in the fights
there's
that
like
you could
multiple
cut out.
beats
Yeah.
in the
Oh,
fight.
wow.
That was a
Okay.
little too much. I feel like, their stunting is incredible. Again, the action's great. It was just not necessary.
Yeah,
to that
and
certain
it
extent.
stinks because I also, as much as I like to complain about stuff, but then I also like to think of like the solution. It's like, oh, well, what would I have done? And like, I don't envy the person who had to adapt this entire series into a 5
episode.
5 hours of content of film. Sorry, I said content. But like, yeah, I don't envy them. I can't even sit here and be like, this is what I would have done better. Cause it's like, I feel like that's such a tall ask kind of thing too. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
It's the Dark Tournament with no tournament.
Exactly.
And it's like, again, as a fan, I'm like, I want to see like Jin, the wind user. I want to see like, oh, this scene and this thing. And they kind of tried to throw you those bones.
Yeah.
But again, none of it was earned.
Yeah, none of it
like,
was earned.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It was
that
like
was-
70 something episodes, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
no, the anime is like 120.
Oh wow! Oh my god!
It really is like one of the example is the shoot, I forgot his name, but like the I guess the what was
The
it?
guy.
Not
Not Kurama, the one with the pacifier.
Oh, Koenma.
Koenma. So in the anime, he's a baby. When he comes to the real, like the human world, he's a like adult with a pacifier. But this one, he just has a pacifier the whole time. So as a non-fan, as someone who like doesn't know it, you're just like, okay, there's this guy that just has like a mouth thing that he's like sucking on pacifier. It doesn't make sense.
It was gangster in the 90s, man.
Apparently. So like like in the anime, it's a baby. He's a baby. He was a baby.
I feel like
Yeah,
that's
right,
the best
right.
example. Like
But-
the best examples are like Hiei and Kurama. Like they're finishing like their final ultimate attacks.
Oh
are
yeah.
like they like pull them out of nowhere, but then for the sake of the fighting, they have to not be good.
Yes.
Like because the fight has to keep going, it has to keep escalating. So they pull out like these incredible attacks in the anime that in the show are just like they work for a second and then the bad guy gets up kind of thing, and you're like.
Their VFX though, it's pretty good. Like overall, I don't have too much to complain about the actual VFX, how it blends in with the real life characters.
Right. Well, the thing is, for people who have never seen the anime, this will be more enjoyable for them. Anybody who's seen the anime, it's kind of like, oh. And my attitude was kind of like, well, this for me is what separates anime from live action. Anime this because the concept, that's the other thing about Japanese anime and Japanese creativity, is that when they create something, they create it for the form they're doing it in, and it works in that form. And to make this into live action, it's kind of like why do this in live action? What's the point of doing this? Because it's not acceptable in live action. I mean, it might be, and you guys and weren't thrilled to see them as human beings. They're better in animation. And also what they do in animation is perfect for the animated form. When they transfer the fights to live action, they don't work nearly as well.
Yeah.
Because they're ludicrous.
Yeah.
Because well, that's not real. These guys are real human beings, but what they're doing isn't real.
Yeah, I think what hurts it too is that now we're in a post Netflix One Piece world where it's like, okay, it can be done. Even the Rurouni Kenshin live action movies are really solid too.
Yeah.
So it's like we know it's possible.
Yeah.
You know, I can't. We'll see about like the live action Avatar, but then
no, I was gonna say for that the only reason why those are done so well, like One Piece, is because budget. The original animation, like the animation,
it was like one season for 8 episodes.
Even animations now, where the actions are so much better. If you watch like Jujutsu Kaisen and like a lot of action heavy anime, it's a lot better than previously. Right. But the budget that it requires and the amount of time that it requires, again, like we were saying, is 72 episodes. Even if you cut down half of that, that's still an enormous financial burden for a studio to take over. So they're trying to do a 5 episode. It's doable. So they translate, they pick and choose what they want to do, but it's never good enough because like the context.
But that's what makes me wonder, like, what was the deal? Like, you know, obviously with One Piece, it's literally like the most known, profitable, biggest franchise globally.
Yes.
You have the creator directly involved. So for that, it's like, and you know, the conversion, it was worth it for Netflix to spend that kind of money. Where it's like, I don't know if Yu Yu Hakusho was like an acquisition or like if it was a co-production where it's like, was it negotiable? Like, was it like, we'll give you enough money for this, maybe you'll get a season 2, and then they had to just assume they wouldn't and like make it that way. Like, I know that happened with like the Scott Pilgrim anime where they were like not sure if they're going to get a season 2 or not. So they basically made sure that the season 1 that is out on Netflix now was like contained. And that if they get a season 2, great, they'll go from there. But if not, it's like it can stand on its own.
It certainly does. That was one of my favorite things this year. The Scott Pilgrim Takes Off.
Yeah,
I thought that was terrifically done.
Yeah, it was
the action in there is pretty good too.
Yeah,
the anime action in there is pretty good too, and it shows the characters how they fight differently.
Yeah.
And again, it had an ethereal voice by the guy who actually did the Scott Pilgrim books, and also it was animated in Japan.
Yeah.
So it was a perfect world. He must have been in heaven. I was very happy because the writing was so deep and layered again.
Mhm.
and I
Yeah,
was very,
fun.
very impressed.
Yeah.
So now we'll take a little jump over to Obliterated, and then we can all pile on Rebel Moon.
Yes.
What is this, Rick?
Obliterated was was a delight. Obliterated was
Heard
like,
of it.
I know. I mean, I saw reviews going, this was surprisingly good, and I was going, well, let me check it out. And and I've seen all these other bad Amazon Prime, and I mean Amazon Prime, Citadel, Netflix, Heart of Stone, and they were all taking it super seriously. We're badass, terrorist fighters. And here we have a bunch of foul-mouthed, foul-brained badasses whose job it is to stop the terrorists from setting off an atom bomb in Vegas. And they go in like in the first episode and they do it. And so then they go, great, we've succeeded. And they start drinking and whoring and gambling and going crazy, terrible jokes, just awful. And, they're just, fuck it, let's have fun. And then while they're at their drunkest, they found out it was all a fake out. The bomb is still there. They're still planning to blow it up, but they were trying to get those guys away and drunk and sexed out so they wouldn't stop them.
Oh, this
So
is
there they
hilarious.
are, with an alcohol level in their blood of like 1,000, and they're going, well, we're gonna have to do it anyway. and they do, and it's kind of like it's a legitimate Netflix action series, but also a satire of it. But it's a straight-faced satire, and also it's just like I'm going, I can't believe they're getting away with this. And at the end, and it ends, and they're shameless. They're shameless throughout. All the hero's trying to do is to finish the mission with his female partner so they can have sex. and the last thing in the spoiler alert, as you know, the theme song for action film Autopsy, there'll be spoilers. But anyways, the last thing, they're having sex in the shower. And I'm going, good job, guys. Good job.
Mission accomplished.
It's worth seeing it.
That sounds hilarious.
It's not, the fighting is not great because again, they're all stupid.
Right.
And even the villains are stupid. So
how long is it?
It's 6 to 8 episodes, I think.
Okay.
And about an hour each.
See, I've never heard of this.
Yeah.
I mean, I had to be told about it, and I said, "Oh, I'm not interested in this. It's going to be another Netflix thing." But then I went, "Okay, yeah, Fat will enjoy this, and all the movie dojo army. You're going to enjoy Obliterated, man.
Sweet.
Nobody's smart, nobody's wise. They're all badass. All badass.
We're gonna have fun with that.
Yes, and brutal. And now it's Rebel Moon time.
Yes.
Here's the deal. Here's a man. All Andy. I'm pretty sure if we go to DC, and if we go to your company, Miko, if we go to anybody's company, we go to Illumination. We go to all the companies I've worked with. All they've ever wanted is an product that has a ready-made audience. A dear friend of mine, multiple Edgar Award-winning mystery writer. He was talking to somebody, and he was signing his books, and this woman said, "Are you ever going to put a cat in your book?" And he goes, "No." And then she goes, "Are you ever going to put Sherlock Holmes in your book?" And he goes, "Well, I'm not planning to." She says, "Well, if you did, I'd buy the book." And he goes, "You'd buy it because I would put that in the book?" And she went, "I'd have to buy it because you put a cat and Sherlock Holmes in the book." So that's the audience. All studios, all networks are looking for cat people. They're looking for Sherlock Holmes people.
Yeah.
They're looking for people who will, and up until recently, Marvel people and comic book people, because and that's when the quality started going down. Well, here is a guy, Zack Snyder, who has created his own audience, who I call Zackoffs. They're all Zackoffs. I tried to come up with a
Hey.
I tried to come up with a nicer name for them, but that's the best. That really is the best name.
Yeah.
You know, he. You know, like I said, in past action film autopsies, I've shown you the distinction between a director who makes an action sex movie and a man who makes an action masturbation movie, a jack off movie. And what Michael Bay and Zach have been doing are doing these jack off movies. They're pleasuring themselves. They're not trying to pleasure the audience at all. But for whatever reason, they created an audience who kind of love that. They love him for it. So they'll do anything. They'll see anything. They'll champion anything he does, anything. And so I said, buddy, so I was going, Rebel Moon, this is going to be cool. This is going to be Zach's version of Star Wars. And this
I was really excited for it.
The trailer,
me too.
The trailer of the movie sold it.
Yeah.
And like it had a lot of good actions and a lot of good like epic world building.
Yeah, and it was exciting to see what he do in a like post, you know, with that distance from DC.
Oh yeah,
and from everything, all the bad things that happened in his life,
and also the and total freedom to do whatever he wanted to do. And so what he decided he wanted to do was do this to everybody. Do this to Marvel, do this to Star Wars, do this to Star Trek, do this to Warhammer. I mean, I said it yesterday, I'll say it again. If you make a drinking game out of identifying the stuff he rips off in every single sequence, you will be in the hospital with with alcohol poisoning by the end of the first hour. Yeah, he has lightsabers.
Yeah,
he's totally shameless. Every single sequence, he's grabbing here, he's grabbing there, he's grabbing there, he's grabbing there.
What if there are homages? What are things that he's
even
homaging?
So, they're all homages, but they're obvious homomages, and he's not putting what I consider a Zach spin on them. And also, even worse is this first part of this part one of Rebel Moon.
Yeah.
How long was this? Was this 2.5 or 2 hours?
It was like 2 and 15 or something
like that.
Well, no,
the 2.5
minutes are really long.
So there's action in the beginning, there's action in the middle, there's action at the end. So let's say that's 30 minutes of action. What's the rest of the movie? They're talking, they're blabbing, they're filling in information. They're just telling the audience. They're not showing, they're telling for the rest of the time. They're telling, and not in an entertaining, imaginative, inventive way.
No.
The dialogue is not smart and clever.
No.
Oh, that's a good line. No, I didn't say that once. I was just going.
Yeah, none of the characters' arc are earned. None of them.
Oh yeah, every single one we go through like the backstory, and then it's just like, why do I care?
Yeah, why
Which
do I
sounds
care?
really cynical, but it's like,
well, because it doesn't draw you in. Like a good, a good movie would draw you into it, so you care about the characters and care about why you want them in your team. It's like, what was that? What was that Star Wars movie where they have to blow up the
Rogue One?
Rogue One.
Like Rogue One was also kind of a fetch quest because they need to like different characters, but you care about every single one of them because their story, because of how they tell it and how they connect to the story.
Yeah.
And this one, none of it. I don't care about any of it.
Also, Endor. Also, Endor. Yeah, because that's the thing is, you said, Jen, why should I care? I didn't say, why should I care? I went, I don't care.
Yeah.
This is, I'm fast forwarding to the fights.
Yeah. Like I didn't mind initially, like the gathering the group. I didn't mind, your Seven Samurai. I kept joking. I'm like, oh, this is a remake.
Oh, that's right.
A Bug's Life was what I kept saying of A Bug's Life because it's a remake of Seven Samurai. But I was like, A Bug's Life. I was like, A Bug's Life worked better because they all of the recruits were all like,
God damn it,
already knew each other.
God damn it.
Magnificent Seven worked better. Magnificent Seven was a remake.
Oh man.
I mean,
because then it was just so boring because it was like every single time it was like it was truly formulaic of like we went to the new. Oh, I know a guy. Cut to the new person. Here's a 20-minute flashback I didn't ask for. Oh, I know a guy. Literally, it happened like 3 times in a row, and I was like,
so this is Exhibition, the movie.
Yeah, I know.
I mean, Exposition.
Yeah, and
The
I
most-
will also say we took edibles for this, and it did not help.
It's really better,
And
not
usually
worse.
help.
It brought you down. It brought you down. It pulled you down off your high.
So zoned in, and I was like, I'm like, this is just bad,
Yeah,
right?
like,
Like, we
yeah.
had that moment of
We
like,
had that moment in that middle.
Listen,
I love me like I can separate like a bad movie and like, but I still really like it. And I was like, no,
Yeah,
this is just
good
bad.
bad.
No.
Right.
It's bad.
The
I
other thing-
realize-
Good bad.
I finally realized what Zach was doing because I know other producers who do this. I know one producer who he's not interested in the product. He's interested in the promotion. He's interested in the deal. He's interested in the contract. All the stuff he makes is not involving at all. So I think on the basis of what I've known about Zack Snyder from because since I was on the set of as you all know, because I keep repeating it, I was on the set of the original Christopher Reeve, Richard Donner Superman for a month. And during that time, I made friends with the set photographer, the editor, the makeup guy. So now all these guys, and because it's a small world in England, the movie world in England, they're involved in virtually every major motion picture ever since. They were involved in Alien, they were involved in James Bond movies, they were involved. So they're my background guys. So they're the ones who every time I see a movie and I'm going, how the hell did this happen? I go out to them and they say, don't you, and they'll tell me what they've heard or what they experienced. And so what I've heard about Zach is that he's one of those guys who likes the deal more than the movie. He's much more excited about the deal he gets. And the thing that he was happiest about, he wasn't promoting this movie because it's a great movie. He was promoting this movie because there's a sequel. He's promoting this movie because there's an R-rated version. He's promoting this movie because there's a 4-hour version coming up. He just gets to play in his sandbox without doing quality work. Just slow motion. Can I make everything slow motion?
Yeah.
So that's what I think is happening here. That's because he could have done anything.
Yeah.
What do you think of the action, Rick? Like in terms of like the actual action pieces, I found them to be relatively uninteresting because of the overabundance of slow motion in times where it doesn't need to be. There's no emphasis. It's a meal. It's a meal that has just everything is the saltiest things, and none of it is sweet.
Yeah, originally I was thinking as I started watching this that it was going to be on my worst list, but because then I started fast forwarding through the fights, but I also knew what I was getting. I was when I came to the film, I thought it was going to be pure Zach, except I thought it was going to be Zach unleashed. But no, it's Zach, in the FU phase, the jacking off phase.
So I have a question.
Yes.
For all three of you.
Well, let me answer their question first.
Oh, go ahead.
So taking separately, knowing what Zach's doing and appreciating what Zach does when he does it best, I didn't mind the fights. They reminded me of Hong Kong fights.
Okay.
In that, especially the battle at the end with the main villain. Because in Hong Kong things, the villain always manages to survive. They have to keep trying harder and harder and harder. So I was saying, okay, that wasn't wildly satisfying, but I can tolerate this. And also we got to that point, which is what they did in Ahsoka too, which is nothing will kill anybody in the future. Yeah. Nothing ever kills anybody.
Yeah.
I mean, they dropped an entire building on him, and all right, let's just put him in the Emperor machine and make him rise up again. But now ask your question.
So my question is for all three of you: when the extended version comes out, let's just say hell freezes over, and the extra footage will make you care about the characters. The movie will make more sense. You will be rooting for them by the end, and you will like the movie. If that happens, will you hate the movie more for the fact that it should have been released in this state?
I would because it's like I really liked his cut of Justice League.
Yeah.
I thought it was significantly better. And obviously, again, with him,
oh yes, that's true. Yes,
there
very
was a
true.
personal tragedy in his life. He had to exit the project. Like it really was like out of his hands, like how that all went down.
By the way, from my people, I've heard that may or may not be true.
I mean, that's fine. I'll give him the grace there. But but with this, it's just like to have a director's cut when you're working with Netflix. Feels kind of markety.
I think that's it. Like even the Zack Snyder cut of Justice League was released in HBO Max. Because they have the flexibility of not, behold to the theatric release schedule and like the budgets and whatnot. They can do it better. So with Netflix, I know that Netflix might have asked him to do, that you guys mentioned, might have asked him to do a PG-13 version of it or whatever. But it's one of those things where even with that, he has a lot more flexibility to do the things that he wanted to do. That's why we have, like a lot of streaming services where the episodes are, some episodes are 1 hour, some are 45 minutes, some are like an hour 30. Like it all varies in timing. Like
knowing Zach like I don't know him. I know that when he made the deal with Netflix, he came in and said, I'm going to do this, 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 and this. They didn't say, would you do this? He said, I'm doing PG, I'm doing R, I'm doing a 2-part, I'm doing a director's cut. And they all went, because they knew they'd have the viewers for it.
Yeah.
That's all they want. And also, I mean, hearing about how he worked, because believe me, I heard all about how he was working. At that time when he was working with DC,
probably.
What did he just say?
He said the director's cut's going to have more slow-mo.
Oh, absolutely. Hopefully it'll be 4 hours long because the whole thing will be in slow-mo.
Right.
So in any case, no, I heard so much because at the time he started working with them, there were still a lot of people from DC Comics who were very strongly affiliated with the movies. And so they were telling me stories and telling other friends of mine stories that they told me about the behavior that was going on. Because at that time, of course, DC was constant. I mean, just Martin Campbell made the 2 best James Bond movies ever made, and he got set, and he was thrown under the bus for Green Lantern. So that's them. But so that takes.
McCloskey, you got to check out the video yesterday, the best and worst for anything Knights of the Zodiac. Got to check out that video. Then.
Knights of the Zodiac was on my worst list yesterday.
Yeah, there you go. But still, watch it because it'll be hilarious. Really quick before we move on, I actually met Zack Snyder.
Oh, there it is.
He's
a lovely guy, I'm told.
Yeah, he's a sweetheart, but this was before 300. This was before he got big.
Oh, before he got crazy.
They released the unrated version of Dawn of the Dead down in Universal City Walk. So me and my buddies went down there because we love Dawn of the Dead, and we went down there, and that's where we met him, and he had a panel and stuff. And again, sweet man. I got my picture with him somewhere.
Oh,
I am a Snyder. There's a difference. I am a Snyder fan. I am not a Snyder cunt. Okay, the Snyder cunts are leagued with Rick's Zackoffs. Okay, they're the same. Okay, Snyder cunts are fans that are diehard and they love everything he does, and they will personally attack other people for disagreeing and having their own opinion.
I don't understand that.
A Snyder fan like me appreciates his talent, but I recognize the flaws.
No.
I love the original Dawn of the Dead. I hate Army of the Dead. I absolutely hate it, despite the really high audience rating on Rotten Tomatoes. Hate it. I recognize the flaws. There's a difference. Yeah. I personally want, me and my wife were just talking about it recently. We want to root for him.
Yeah.
We want to root for him. But if he keeps running into a wall, we have to be honest. We have to be honest. So whenever we get around to watching the director's cut of Rebel Moon and it's shite, you will hear it from us.
Right. Now, wait a minute, though. Before you go on, I strongly recommend this because while you were talking, I was looking at Jen's face.
Okay.
And I want to say to you that I strongly recommend that you change the name of your guys to Zach Holes.
Zach Holes? Okay.
Instead of Zach Cunts.
Okay.
Because I'm being woke. Spoiler alert, I'm being woke.
That wasn't the issue.
But by calling them cunts, you're calling women bad. Because,
sure.
And the cunt in and of itself is a wonderful thing. So it's not it is not accurate to
what more of a face than that.
No, that's a statement of fact. A vagina is far better than a penis.
This conversation went way
a vagina is far more beautiful than a penis.
Yeah.
Far
Let's-
more beautiful.
let's-
So the
let's
fact
move
that he's
on.
calling these haters,
No, it's
these
fine.
haters who attack other people,
Yeah,
cunts,
yeah.
is not accurate and not fair. So I think
Okay.
Zach Coles sounds much better and is more accurate.
No,
Okay.
I was thinking the thoughts in my head about as you were talking.
we went off the rails. It's not my fault.
It's
Yeah, go ahead.
entirely your fault.
Oh,
But
my
anyway.
No, my thoughts were it was interesting because I was thinking about the whole time that this is happening, I keep comparing it in my head to like Kill Bill Volume 1 and 2, and then when you have like them together. And he, because he intended them to be one long film. And then the other thing I keep thinking about is the how I felt having watched Alien Covenant, and it was like somebody stop this man. Somebody
Yes.
man needs a friend. He
Preach
needs a
it.
friend to like sit him down and be like, what's going on? And like
That was
that's
the
how
last
I
movie
felt.
we saw together.
Yeah, we
Yeah.
saw that at
Oh,
Blue
oh.
Sky.
It's so bad.
And I still hate you
Oh.
for it.
Yeah, but like
I hate me for it.
yeah, like for me with Zack Snyder, and I think it is because he has this like I think it's like it's a causation kind of thing, or maybe I don't know, but it's like he's got this like fan base that like has elevated him regardless of whether or not he deserves it or not.
Yeah.
I'm not here to make that judgment call.
Yeah.
But it's just like he's just become someone who I can only assume is just surrounded by yes men. And like
Yeah.
I can just like it's so clear to me how much
Yeah.
he suffers for not having peers like
Yeah.
who work with him is
Yeah.
how I feel, again, without having any knowledge or anything.
Right.
And I think there's like certain directors that get to that level and it's like it just feels like they're just in this bubble.
Yeah.
And it like
Yeah.
it shows because then their work just is so out of
Their
touch.
suffer, yeah.
Well, the movies are, making movies, especially when you have this much freedom. It's a drug. It's a
Yeah.
rush. But in any case, let's get off of that.
Again, I want to root for the man, but if it sucks, it sucks. All right, next up.
I just want to see great movies. That's all I care about.
Yeah.
But thank heaven for action film autopsies, because that way I can see crap and still really enjoy it. Because I know I'll be able to rip them a new one on here.
Yeah.
But in any case, now we're going on to Haya, and I guess I'm going alone. I doubt any of you guys have seen the movies that came out this month on Haya.
No, I'm curious about it.
Okay. All right. Well, we'll start with the worst one first. Yeah, Haya is still available. You can still get the free sample. They have awesome stuff. They're releasing new movies every
Links,
week.
yeah, links in the description. Check it out.
Yep. And so the first one, I'm going to put them in order of their
Okay.
release.
Okay.
But thankfully, it's also in the order of bad to good.
Okay.
First, every time I think about this movie, it's called The Sword.
Okay.
We have a post. There we go. The Sword. The
And this
Sword.
sucks.
Well, what's great about all these movies, none of them are more than an hour, 20 minutes. This movie is an hour, 7 minutes. And that's counting the credits. And I marveled at this film. This was a Chinese attempt to kind of like do a Chinese wuxia movie, which is the Flying Swordsman movie, with Lord of the Rings, with a gladiator movie, except it was clear that they had a $150 to do it, and also it's hilariously terrible. It's not even a glorified home movie. If you went to China and you got to make a movie for the streaming services, they always have glorious sets. They always have glorious costumes. They always have glorious props.
Yeah.
They also have sound stages and all the extras you could possibly want. So if you want to make a home movie, that it will look good, but it won't sound good. Well, and the acting, they have Americans, they have British, but they're all it's so bad.
What's the period of this film roughly?
No one knows.
Period fantasy.
They have all people of all different nationalities, but it's
all
like
different nationalities in a Chinese Ming Dynasty kind of world, but also they're fighting evil. They call it East versus West, dark versus light.
Yes.
and this and they have they have Smaug, they have Gomlin kind of, but the special effects are so bad. You got to see this animation. It's like they're doing it on their bad home computer. They're doing it on a cheap Dell at home, and whenever the white people open their mouths, and there's the white girl who's playing sort of like the head elf or whatever, the Lord of the Rings head elf. She speaks both English and Chinese, but she speaks the most flat Chinese imaginable.
I'll get a kick out of it for sure.
Oh yeah,
Rick, you're making us want to watch it.
And you should watch it. It's an hour and 5 minutes. You know, you can just sit there and go, wow.
Jen and Miko's they're gonna message us after. You're like, this was more entertaining than Rebel Moon.
Yeah,
probably will be. You'll hate it because they do your least favorite kind of action. They do their least favorite kind of action.
Yeah.
The fight, the action, you know, the sword action starts, then it cuts here.
Oh no.
And then it cuts somewhere else, and then it cuts because these people aren't talented.
Right.
They just got them off the street, as far as I can tell. And so they're not able to do it, so they have to cut around it. And in the subsequent movies I'll be talking about, which was an all Chinese crew and all Chinese production house, they do the cutting very well because they've grown up watching kung fu movies.
Yeah.
So it's much better. So let's get off of the sword. I highly recommend you watch as much of it as you can, or as you want to. I got through all of it. I didn't fast forward to the fights because there were no fights to fast forward to. Basically, the next one is
we'll take some edibles.
Yeah, this won't bring you down. Actually, this might work extremely well with edibles.
Yeah,
you might be laughing hysterically by the end of it. Crazy Beggar Sukir. Crazy Beggar Sukir. This is their version of a Stephen Chow, a latter-day Stephen Chow. Stephen Chow did a whole bunch of movies about the King of Beggars. And this is in the same tradition. Now, me being ignorant, I'm pretty sure now that Stephen Chow based his beggar movies on Chinese stories and Chinese mythology and Chinese novels. And that's where probably this one came too. So I'm not saying it's a director of Stephen Chow, but Stephen Chow is still alive and he's still involved in the Chinese film industry. So it may have been. I have the notes on that one. Let me find the guy who. It's basically a Ming Dynasty cop who's trying to stop this new drug that's a fantasy drug that's an incredible high. And there's this gorgeous concubine and this corrupt governor, both who want this drug because it makes everybody slaves and zombies and all sorts of stuff. And so this young man comes in to defeat them, and he's a kung fu master, he's a sword master, but she gets some drug into him, and he is destroyed by the zombies and everybody else. And the next time he wakes up, he's an amnesiac beggar. And they have all this incredible, crazy comedy with these crazy characters. There was one character who I had never seen before, and now I am absolutely devoted to it. You know, there's famous characters in Chinese cartoons and all the rest of it with these little mustaches here. They're like little asterisks here. They have a character like that, another drunken beggar character, but his mustache consists of nose hair. Imagine the big black mustache coming out of his nostrils.
I hate that so much.
I was like going, that is great. I have never seen that before. And meanwhile, of course, for the rest of the movie, they also have surprising amounts of sexual jokes as well. The concubine is showing so much skin. And she, unlike the characters in The Sword, that one, and there was others like her, so much skin. And also his friends, the beggar's friends, that are transvestites. They're all sorts of wild characters. And I was and then the cop who used to be his partner comes and finds him and brings his memory back. And so they get to go back after and deal with the drugs again. And there's some really lovely. Did you have that? I have that one picture that I sent you earlier that I put up on Facebook of that kick. See if you can find the kick.
Okay, I'll try to find it.
Pictures that we should. So Crazy Beggar Secure again, an hour 20 at tops.
Okay, but is there a dragon?
No, there's no dragon.
Why is the
Why are
poster?
you? You're acting shocked. It's in the poster.
The poster has a huge dragon in the back.
Oh, oh yeah, that's the drug. That's the drug effect. Yeah, there's the fan. It's not a real dragon. When you say dragon to me, I'm expecting a real dragon because in Chinese movies they have real dragons. This is a drug-addled dragon.
I thought that was the case, but I still had to ask.
Okay, well, I'm glad you did. Yeah, that kid. That's an example of some of the kung fu that's in it.
All right.
And it's good work. It's good work. I have again the Ma Zhaolong for what it's worth. I mean, you don't care about the names, but Mao Zedong did the action, and the guy who stars is Peng Yusi, and I'm looking forward to seeing more of him because he's a good actor and he has great character in his face, and he really communicates because he goes from being the great kung fu master to being the crazy beggar back to the kung fu beggar at the end.
Oh,
and
right.
So you can see it all on his face, and he does a really, really nice job. It's done by a guy. Again, all these movies are all made by people under 30. So they're the next generation of Chinese filmmakers. So look for Chen Zhuli, who is also the directors. Sex, drugs, and rock and roll. That's what this movie is. Now we go to, so I was really getting excited for Thief Female Hero, because again, I was hoping they'd do what Marvel is doing now, which is really elevating its female characters and their female heroes. But unfortunately, the nature of the Chinese film business is that for too many years, the next movie is Thief Female Hero. Could you be more direct with that title? Do you have that poster? There we go. Thief Female Hero.
Oh no.
So you can use. I think what happened is over at Haya, I'm sure they do this. They translate the titles and they come up with
the Chinese title is.
Yeah, but it's probably it's Thief Female Hero. But what they do is they get it translated and they throw it up in the air, and wherever it lands, that's what they call the movie. It could be Female Thief Hero or Female Hero Thief. I would like that better, or not even female at all. But again, unfortunately, go look up the title. Unfortunately, because for too many years, the female actors in China were groomed to be what were called jade vases. Their job was to look good and be decorative. So they weren't really taught real great acting style. At the beginning of Hong Kong, of course, the female characters played all the parts, but that didn't happen in China. They were still jade vases because it's still a very paternal society in China. So unfortunately, the lead of this movie is, when they cast that actress to play the live action Mulan, and you saw the poster for the Disney live action Mulan, and you saw her face was dead on arrival. She was just blank. She was a mannequin. And if you go back to the Thief Female Hero poster, go ahead, take a look at it. Mannequin.
This kills me because we looked it up, and then first of all, Thief Heroine just is significantly better. It's not good, but it's significantly better. And then I don't know the Chinese.
The Chinese title is 道生一枚之. 道生 means like the thief. 一枚之 is sort of it's a figure of speech, of saying like the only one in a sense. Yep. But I get why it's hard. It's really hard to translate that.
Was it like the only female thief?
Not necessarily. I came and I understand the struggle. I understand the struggle.
Okay,
because it works really well in the like in Chinese, but not as well in Mandarin.
And by the way, bring the poster back, Pat. Those are not her breasts. Those are her legs. No question, that's her leg and her face. That's not her chest.
Oh yeah, now that you're saying it, it's like the cleavage starts way too high.
Yeah.
This is the most spiciest action film autopsy episode today.
I blame all of you.
Like cleavage starts to like way more down.
But a great thing, there is really good stuff about it. It's a wuxia movie. The Flying Swords people. Okay. It is and again, for all you filmmakers who are part of the Movie Dojo Army, watch this movie. This is a great tutorial on how to do sword action.
Oh,
Because again, the actresses are not versed. They're not trained like Sammo Hung or Jackie Chan. So the director is Guo Hu. The action choreographer is Ge Zhanglong. Is that the same guy as the other one? No, that's Ma Zhanglong. They may be brothers though. But in any case, or brothers, so they did the action, and you watch how they do the sword play. It's very smart. It's again, you can see that the practitioners are not very versed in it, but they make them look good. And also, the plot is so much fun because they have a bunch of female characters, villains and heroes, and they're always traveling. They're always going from one tower to another, so they're able to redress the sets. So they're able to use the one set over and over and over again. And they have names like Tofu Tower, not Tofu Tower, Tofu Tower, and then Yang Yang Tower. And you can imagine what's in Yang Yang Tower. Lots of guys in Yang Yang Tower. And they're all trying, the whole plot, the entire plot, everybody's trying to get a treasure map. Treasure map to what? Don't know. Never do find out. Doesn't matter. That's just their ticket to ride. 1 hour and 20 minutes.
it's the MacGuffin.
It's the MacGuffin.
I'm so curious about all of these because I'm just like, what is the pacing that these are all so short?
Well, because they're just making them. They make dozens a year, if not. I mean, I was told by a friend in China that they make hundreds a year.
Mm-hmm.
I'm saying it can't be hundreds, but they said, well, at least dozens. Again, they're coming out, and these are all from 2020 and 2021.
But I don't think the short amount of time wouldn't be good because it would be like short stories.
But that's what I'm saying. But I'm saying like the typical Western like 3-act structure, where I'm like, would it be more like the 4-act structure? Like
no, I think it is a short story. I think these are chapters from a Jin Yong book. These are chapters.
I see. Yeah.
That makes perfect sense, and also make it very entertaining. So we build up to the best. It's the last one. It's the one that just came out this week. Fist of Fury's Soul.
All right, I'm sold with this poster here.
Yeah. And it lives up. It's an hour and 6 minutes long.
What is going on?
It's a masked power mad maniac kills the hero's dad. The hero's dad, that's the hero. His dad was the head of a kung fu school and was supposed to be the best in the land until this masked power mad maniac shows up to challenge him and uses this karmic power and cosmic power to destroy him. So this kid gets really upset and goes wandering away and tries to find another teacher who is as good as his dad. And he stumbles upon a place finally that has and also this is a better movie because it has 2 recognizable actors from Hong Kong films.
Oh,
Norman Chu and an old gentleman who turns out to be the villain in the next movie, spoiler alert. Who I know who that is. I know who that is. Is that a member of Zhang Yimao's family? Because he looks so familiar. But an old gentleman, and the acting is so much better. Everybody's better, and the fighting is so much better. Cheng Siyu is the director. Sun Fei did the action. The leading actor is very memorable. That's Cheng Guanying, and again he has a really good look. And again, if you could find the picture that I put up earlier today on Facebook, which has a great shot of him, that's not exaggerated by the poster. And the ending is pure. There it is. That's him. He has a great look, and he does good work. The only thing I was unhappy about, he is unleashed. His energy is unleashed at the end, and he does right out of Kung Fu Hustle. The cosmic fist, is unleashed again.
That poster definitely remind me of that movie.
Yeah. And again, these are all in super enjoyable, especially on edibles. You should have a very good, because I had a very good time, just high on life, just high on my chi. So it's fine.
All right.
So yeah, I'm looking forward to what they release next month.
Check that out.
So now let's go to the movies.
All right.
And I think now, has anybody seen? Well, we've all seen Godzilla -1, so we saved that for last, and we all you know, and we all love it.
Yep.
Has anybody seen Aquaman?
No.
No.
I've seen Aquaman. Okay, so I might as well talk about that now. Aquaman is fine.
Okay.
James, it's not great, because what happens when I was in China and I was in Hong Kong, which meant I was in China in 2017. When I first came town, I told my hosts I want all Hong Kong food. I want all Hong Kong film, and I want all Hong Kong food. And I ate a lot of Hong Kong food. And my review for every single meal was exactly the same, which was you could taste the chef's tears. And while watching Aquaman, I was reminded of that. You could taste Jason Momoa's tears. You could see Jason Momoa's tears. You could see James Wan's tears. They weren't tears. You could see their, oh well. You could see their resignation. The whole movie was basically them going, okay, we've been allowed to do this. We're having some problems with Amber Heard. We're having some problems with other things, and now we're making the last film from a world that no longer exists. So,
right.
WTF? So and basically this movie, what I recommend you do is, since you haven't seen it and you may not want to see it, it's okay. It won't be devastatingly awful. It's fine because it's James Wan, it's Jason Momoa. Watch the trailer for Aquaman, then watch the trailer for Aquaman 2. You'll notice they're very similar. They look like an advertisement for the same movie.
Yeah,
that's kind of what this is.
Yeah.
This is kind of it's the same villain.
Mm-hmm.
They do base it on a line of fairly famous Aquaman comics, and I'm glad they changed the end of that Aquaman comic, because that would have been a really bad way to end this. But it's fine. It's
Are the action pieces as fun as the first one? Because the first one, the action pieces were great. They were a lot of fun.
They're legit.
They're good, but they're demoralized. So,
Mm-hmm.
but again, it's worth for you to go see. So you tell me, because I may have come to the movie with that kind of like, yeah, okay, I know. Yeah,
I feel like everybody is doing that, though, to be fair. Like, I'm like just quietly like, I do not wish for any movie to get like thrown into the vault and canceled and deleted and all that stuff. Like, I do not wish that. But with these last handful of DC movies pre James Gunn, I'm just like, I just want them to go away. So
you can see they're demoralized. Every single one of them is more increasingly demoralized.
Oh yeah, and it's honestly, that's how I feel working at Warner Brothers. Well, like we're just waiting for this era to die, and like we're just excited to get going with the new one.
Yeah.
Well, let me put it this way: at least Aquaman is the best of the bad ones. I mean, Black Adam was incomprehensible to me how poor that was. And Blue Beetle disappointed me because of what they chose to do. What's the other one that I'm missing?
Shazam.
Shazam, which just pissed him off.
That was garbage.
Me off royally. This is the best of them. But at the same time, as a creative person, you guys know, I mean, the one novel I wrote when I was living in LA was the sequel to my science fiction book, Doomstar. It was Return to Doomstar, as the publisher titled it. And you could see the writer's tears. Well, not my tears. I thought it was a great idea, but when I read it over, I was going, this is the most superficial book I ever wrote, because I was in Hollywood, and everybody was superficial out there, and I could not avoid taking their energy and channeling it into my work. So when even though we got James Wan and Jason Momoa and The Rock, I always depended on Rock to do the right thing, and even he screwed up with this with Black Adam. So it's kind of like, shit runs downhill. That was the first thing that the head of the studio told me when he brought me out to lunch For the first day I was working on the Twilight Zone, he says, I'm going to tell you this now. You can carry it through the rest of my life because it's true wherever you go. Shit runs downhill. So if the boss is terrible, it's unavoidable. So Aquaman is at least James Wan and Jason were powerful enough to not make it shit.
The only positive thing I heard, Rick, was them together.
Yeah.
That's the only good thing I heard about this movie was like people wanted that movie.
Yeah.
They wanted the more buddy cop.
And it was, they did do, the last half of it was pretty much buddy cop.
Okay.
So yeah, it's fine.
Okay.
The villain was one note and whatever.
Right.
Now, speaking of, Men of Straw, Silent Night. Anybody seen Silent Night?
I have, but I cannot talk about it.
Why not? Because you're going to do your own film?
John Woo just texted me. And,
you're doing your own video. You're doing your own video.
I can't talk about it yet because my review is next Wednesday.
There we go. All right.
Sorry. You're going to have to wait, guys.
Have you guys seen it?
No.
No, we have not.
Oh, okay. It's disappointing. I mean, the problem with this one should have been an hour 23. If it had been an hour 23, it probably would have been really good. But it's an hour 44. And at least 24 minutes of that is a waste of time. Because the action, again, is at the beginning and it's at the end. And also, it's a gimmick movie.
Yeah.
It's a gimmick movie. And if you're going to do a gimmick movie, and I know John Woo knows this. If you're going to do a gimmick movie, the gimmick has to have a reason to exist. I mean, if he was the only guy who didn't talk in this movie, he had a reason not to talk. But no one talks in this movie. And it is unsupportable. It's insupportable. It's ridiculous. Why isn't anybody else talking? Literally, not just why isn't anybody talking, but why isn't anybody talking? In other words, that's what he had to come up with. He had to come up with all these clever ways to create a world of silence for this protagonist. And the fights, unfortunately, it's again the difference. If you ever saw any of the Chow Yun-fat movies that John Woo didn't direct, like Replacement Killers and The Corruptor, you can see the difference that John Woo made when he was teamed with Chow Yun-fat, which is together they were awesome gun-fuists. Here we have an actor who's an actor, but not as expressive. And also he's an American actor or a white actor. So again, guns are easy. Guns are not a problem. Guns, takes no effort or emotion to use guns. There's no passion or compassion, although there should be compassion because he's driven by the death of his child. However, it just is like just a miss. And especially the climax, it's kind of like, how could I read the official synopsis for the movie, and the end of the movie was a long sequence where our hero had a fantasy where his child was not killed. And basically the child lives, and at the end of this movie, there's only one tiny little section of that. And it doesn't work at all. And I'm saying, because I know for years John Woo has been trying to make up for the fact that he feels responsible for some of the violence that's happening in the world today because of his movies. Because he's a very religious guy. And he did, he loved the movies he made in Hong Kong because they had meaning there. He was bringing passion and compassion, effort and emotion, and he was making gun fu. But here he's just making a gimmick movie that I'm pretty sure was cut to shit, even though it was way too long. I can't imagine what the original cut was like. So it was disappointing, and I felt bad for him because I've met him, and I have a great respect, and I was hoping that he would have his return to form. But, oh well. It's not terrible, but it's not good. And now let's talk. Let's talk. Anybody seen Iron Claw?
I wanted to, but I couldn't.
Yeah.
It's Fat recommended that I review this. It's a wrestling action movie. It's not an action movie. it's a drama. It's a family drama. It's an excellent family drama.
Mm.
Although my issue, they recreate, it's the true story of this famous wrestling family who were extremely tragic. Almost everybody you see in those pictures are dead, and most of them by their own hand.
Mm.
It's crazy.
Yeah, the drama is very strong, and it's very effective.
Yeah.
And also, it's the coming out party for Zac Efron. Zac Efron becomes a real actor in this movie. And again, my issue with it though is the impression they give, because I also worked with the WWF during the Attitude Years. I was in their Super Bowl commercial, and I knew everybody. And also, I was contracted to write their novels. I was going to write a series of novels set in an alternate universe, because I said that all these great wrestlers were actual peplum characters. They were all gods come to earth. They were all Roman gods or Greek gods. And so they found out the leading character, who's The Rock or whatever, and this was before he was The Rock. This is when he was still a wrestler. They found a portal in which they went through, and they went to their original world where they all originally came from. And that it was a peplum world. It's a world just like the Hercules movies or whatever, where they're the characters. So I would write these novels which would bridge between those two. There would be a section in the real world, and they would go back and forth, and I'd have these big fantasy and adventure plots. And they loved it. Pocket Books loved it. And so we were ready to go. And then we all realized a month before I was supposed to start, because I had 6 proposals for the stories using a different wrestling character as the lead. I had The Rock, I had The Undertaker, I had all the big ones. But at the end, they just gave up. They said, "We know if any of these guys quit, or Vince McMahon decides to fire them, the novel has to be canned. They can't release it." And novels, even if they're rushing, takes at least 8 months. I'm a fast writer, but at the same time, I still don't want to write the book in a month. I want to have, give me 2 months. And most books are written 6 months or more. So in any case, so they canceled it. So I was, the thing that made me a little concerned about the movie is they were giving the impression that these bouts are done off the cuff. Every single thing you see in wrestling is planned.
Yeah.
And so this movie is giving the impression that it wasn't planned and that they're able to control it. And it doesn't work that way. And so I'm saying, but it's still okay. It's just, it shouldn't even be here. Now let's talk about the reason we all came today.
So solid biopic, and that's it.
There
he is, the G-Man. The G-Man.
This is the last G-Man. Anyway, as you know, I spoke elaborately about it yesterday on.
We all gushed.
Yeah.
Did we all gush?
Yeah.
Yeah, we did.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, remember, my gush is that this movie has it has so many levels. Yeah, I called it a work of cinematic art. It's not a work of cinematic art. It's a work of movie art. I distinguish between movies and cinema, between films and movies. Films are artistry. Films are Martin Scorsese. Movies are Godzilla, superheroes, and all the rest of it. But you can do them superlative, and this guy does a stunning job because it's not just about the special effects. It's about the emotion.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
And this thing is so many levels. Should I do the whole routine again? Because I didn't want to bore you with it.
I want to gush about the VFX though.
Go ahead.
They did a really good job with the amount of budget they have, because the director is also came up as a VFX supervisor. Which is huge, because knowing what to shoot, what you need, like the planning before shooting is incredibly important. So all the action pieces that you see, like the Godzilla, like how menacing it is, and like how well it blends into the world.
Yeah.
How powerful it is.
It's really powerful.
Yeah.
And like I personally love the way, because every Godzilla has their own little way of shooting their like the atomic blast, right? But
Yeah.
this one, the charge
Yeah.
with the spikes up and then like
Oh man.
it's
Lock
like
and
it's like
load.
locking, yeah, it's like locking low and like the final
Yeah.
release and the after effect of it is amazing. Rather than like a beam that goes something, if it does feel like an atomic bomb because you see the effect and then you see the impact way in the distance, but the amount of force that it generates, it's terrifying. And I think this movie really does a really, really good job of showing how much of a monster Godzilla is, rather than again like a character that's like really good at fighting essentially. But this was like an actual monster.
Yeah, but again, it's what I always talk about Gun Fu and Die Hard and stuff like that. Effort and emotion. And when Godzilla lets loose, you can see it in him, on his face. You can see him, bam, and he's not happy.
Yeah.
He is
well, I got the shot.
royally enraged.
I got the shot right here,
Yeah,
Jen and
right.
Nico. You guys will like this. Boom! That's the shot.
Yeah.
Wow.
That's my favorite shot in the movie.
So scary.
It's
Look at that.
It's menacing.
When you see any of the clips, and all the clips are amazing. My reaction. I wish I was thankfully in a movie theater with padded seats, because every time Godzilla did something, I went, whoa, oh my God, whoa.
Yeah.
It just was, because when I get emotionally involved in a movie, when the energy is doing it to me, it's like I'm in a play. It's like they're real. And this is just, from every single thing in this movie is so smart. It's just brilliant. It's just
Yeah. When they were explaining, I mean, it was like there's so much layer to it, and it's so good when they're explaining, like the Americans couldn't help because of certain geopolitical stuff, and then they have the Japanese warship that's supposed to be the best one that was easily destroyed by Godzilla, and that just shows you how much force Godzilla has, and like the whole the action piece in Ginza, like the amount, it's such an amazing
Godzilla
film.
is the atom bomb, but also combined with the hatred, guilt, and sadism of the Japanese World War II army. I mean, all that energy is inside. Yeah, every time he lets loose, he's letting loose an atom bomb.
Yeah.
And they make it look that way. Again, his expression, the positioning of his body, I mean, effort, emotion,
and he's got
power.
The white eyes from GMK, man, because the director's a fan of GMK, so that's why his eyes are white. But love it.
And what's great about this movie is also because originally, not many people were expecting, like, oh, it's another Godzilla movie.
Yeah.
And the first time you see it, it's like, shit.
Yep.
But what's great is, even though that we're now telling you, if anybody out there hasn't seen it, even though we're telling you, I defy you not to react when you see it.
Yeah.
Because this is great movie making.
Yeah.
Oh, this is definitely a film you want to watch in the theater.
Yeah, that's
the amount of impact that you get from the screen, from the sound. But
if you have a good TV, it'll be great on that too. If you have a good surround sound, it'll still, because what I like, because my experience in theaters for the last 4 years is that they're in terrible shape now. They don't have good staffs. The seats are all sticky. The sound doesn't, the bulb of the projector is dull. The sound machine. I mean, even at the IMAX in New York, I was having problems. I haven't been to a movie theater once. And also the crowds.
I have problems with the crowds.
The crowd's always that's
I feel
true.
like people are
That's
just
true.
on their phone, and I just want to
They're on their phone, they're talking, all this stuff.
Yes.
So I'd much rather have my screen upstairs, which is a big screen with surround sound. I turn off the lights, I stand in front of the TV, and I let it wash over me. So I'm really looking forward to the Godzilla streamer, and also Frank will tell us about the 4K Blu-rays.
He's seen it in 4DX. I think he saw it in 4DX, huh?
Yeah, he's seeing it again though.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
Well, after this one, I want to see this movie.
Oh my God, that's a terrible movie. I mean, not the anyway, the Pinocchio movie was terrible.
The problem is a filmmaker like Takashi Yamazaki is rare. And that's the thing. It would be wonderful if we could tell Disney, because if you remember, the Disney live action version of Pinocchio was just terrible.
I stopped it like 20 minutes in. I couldn't take it anymore.
Yeah,
It was so bad.
Yep.
So what I was saying, it would be wonderful if everyone could make their movie like Yamazaki made Godzilla. But no, that's because Yamazaki made Godzilla.
Yeah.
Well, shout out to the Movie Dojo Army members. They were sending me this earlier today.
Oh, this is great.
I couldn't stop laughing. That needs to be on a shirt.
Oh yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
But in any case, no, I want the real Godzilla -1 shirt. I want.
Oh yeah.
That's what I want.
For sure.
But in any case, so thank you guys. This was great. Hopefully,
Rick's
we can make
recap. Rick's recap.
the
before
recap.
we end it. We
Well,
gotta
and
do
also, and we can add you guys.
that.
But
Yes.
because you're in the center picture, when you
Yeah.
put your thumbs up or your thumbs down, put it way out to your side because you'll see the.
There we go.
Oh yeah, you move. Oh, that's better. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, here we go.
All
Go ahead.
right. All right. I'll start from the bottom.
Yeah.
All right.
Okay.
Rick's recap for all you badasses just arriving right now and watching season 2, Reacher. Thumbs up from Rick.
Thumbs
Neutral.
up.
Haven't seen it.
Haven't seen it. Put your hands over your eyes. You haven't seen it.
What if season 2, Electric Boogaloo?
Haven't seen it.
All right. Oh, Rick, you forgot to talk about this.
What? Oh my God, I did. Oh my God. Okay, quickly. It was very promising. He's great.
Uh-oh.
He's absolutely great. The production is great. The
Uh-oh.
ideas are great. But unfortunately, RTD, Russell Davies, he filmed it in a very disjointed manner. He just kept throwing out all sorts of different stuff. So I'm hopeful for the new season.
Okay.
And I ultimately I like it. And yeah, again, they're wonderful together. And he is terrific. But RTD has got to give him a cohesive story that starts at the beginning, builds, and ends,
Okay.
instead of
All right,
all
well,
over the place.
So what do you give this? Since we're
Oh
here?
yeah, a middle.
Mid.
Middle.
Okay.
Yeah.
Mid thumb. All
Yeah,
right.
mid thumb.
Obliterated. All right.
Well, let me do a drunk. I have to do a drunk.
All right. Here we go.
Oh, wait a minute. Hold it. One more. I have to do
Okay.
one more thing.
Oh, sure, but you call out
The
Preston
s-
for saying the word cunt.
I know, man. This is the spiciest
Double
AFA.
standard.
But I'm not doing it derisively. That's just the way sex works.
All right, here we go. All right, everyone can join in. Well, you guys can join in on this one. There you go.
No.
Yep. Yep. That's unfortunate. All right. Oh. Rebel Moon.
Double.
Double down. Double down. Double
Or is
down.
it this, Rick?
Oh yeah, let's do this. That's right.
Oh, gosh.
All right.
Or-
Fist
or
of
what-
Fury Soul.
Oh yeah,
All right.
one more.
Very
Yeah.
good.
Good.
I'm neutral.
Thief.
This
Female
one
hero.
sounds interesting. I'm curious.
Okay.
You should check them all out, guys.
Crazy
Oh, yeah,
beggar.
This
sounded-
sounded
Yeah, I'm
interesting.
doing it a little more
All
like that.
The Schwartz.
Oh yes. Weird,
No.
weird Lord of the
No.
Rings.
It's hard to do thumbs up, thumbs down. It has to be like
The Iron Claw.
it's a good drama.
Solid. Okay.
Yeah. Especially if you
Silent
love
Night.
wrestling.
Silent Night.
Oh, unfortunately, yeah.
All right. Aqua Lad. All right. And thumbs down to this movie. I mean, come on. This is garbage. Yeah, baby. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Yep. Always a blast. Thanks again, all of you amazing people, for watching. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Follow Rick in the description box below. Don't forget to check out and get a piece of Rick at his store, Collectibles. That's right. Oh, and also, hold on. I still got it here. Also, don't forget to check out, and I lost it. Hold on. I'm going to find it. I'm going to find it.
By the way,
I'm gonna
guys, do you
check out Merry Little Batman.
that's right.
Yes, on Amazon Prime. Make sure you
right now?
check it out, share it, like it, review it, share the love. That's
Nico and
right.
Jen, do you have the password and for Haya?
No.
No.
I'll send you.
Okay.
There you go. Got the hookup. Yeah, Rick's got the hookups.
He says
But yeah, make sure you
Review
guys check out Merry Little Batman. Jen and Miko, thank you so much for joining. Don't forget, this is your second home. You guys are always welcome back,
Thank you.
especially during the spicy episodes.
You're my
That's right.
you were my co-hosts long before we had the YouTube version.
Yeah, that's
I
right.
have all these. I should send you all the pictures of us doing the podcast in garages,
should.
theaters, in
Next
parking lots.
episode.
Yeah, I'll
Next
send you all the
episode, share
pictures.
though. I'll share it here. Yeah, that'll be
All of
great.
our parking garage movie recap.
Yeah. Rick, anything to say to everyone before we end the last episode of the year?
Oh, Kong Hei Fa Choi, everybody. Have a happy New Year. Happy ho 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 holiday. And I look forward to seeing you in the Year of the Dragon.
Yeah, baby. That's right. Oh, yeah. All right, guys. Take care. See you on the next one. Happy New Year, everyone.
Happy New
And,
Year.
we'll see you next year, baby.
That's right.
That's right. Take care, guys.